is at the cleaners.
With Italians and Ninja Turtles alike standing tall in opposition, you proceed to suggest it as an option for the company party, but you only end up feeding on their hatred.
Heroes in a half shell.
So stand proud at the kiddie table with the sweet and the savory, you clueless eater.
My straw went through the juice pouch.
And grab yourself an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Pineapple on Pizza Lover Guy. Because after choosing to bastardize this dish with bad decisions, you're gonna need something to wash it down.
Mr. Pineapple on Pizza Lover Guy.
Jumpy Little Office, West Covina, California.
All right, guys. And we're back.
We're back.
So, yeah, that one was for you there, Josh.
Fuck you.
Pineapple on Pizza commercial.
I stand by my convictions.
Yeah, no thanks. Not for this guy. You ready for some sports?
Of course.
All right. Sports with Josh.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, Josh, what's up, man?
Okay, actually, no, go back to the other one. I
All right,
don't like
what's
that.
up,
It's too excited. So, in sports, I have some sports news for you guys. So,
Do you guys like sports, by the
Do
way?
you?
Do you
Do any
watch
of you?
sports?
Watch it from time to time.
from time to time,
I like football.
The answer is
Like,
no,
what's your-
Josh.
okay, all right, all right. Well, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Colin Kaepernick and his protests and everything.
Yeah.
It's been a big issue. Yeah, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, all right, so what's been going on with Kaepernick, man?
Well, everyone knows that he doesn't have a team right now because a lot of people are kind of afraid of bringing him on because they're afraid of the whole protest thing coming around and a lot of buzz. So he actually went to the U.S. The federal court and filed, I believe, an injunction suing the NFL, saying that they are blackballing him pretty much, like blocking him out of the NFL on purpose for collusion. And at first, they went through the opening statements and everything, and officially today, the judge ruled that I'm sorry, not today, but they went through arbitration. They didn't go through the judge yet, but they went through arbitration. The
Cool,
NFL,
dog. We're not even live.
I know we're not. But the NFL actually requested that the case be dismissed. But it was actually denied by arbitration, and it's going to go fully to court because they found that there was no reason to dismiss it. That it was fully
Because they don't want to look bad.
Yeah, because they don't want to look bad. And according to Colin Kaepernick's attorney, said Colin Kaepernick has won the summary judgment phase of his collusion case. A face specifically requested by the NFL in hopes of a dismissal. Instead, arbitrator Steve Burbank has refused dismissal in favor of Kaepernick, moving the case toward hearing. It's a huge blow to the NFL. Yeah, so what this is going to end up doing is it's basically they're going to slowly start to bring in some of the NFL owners throughout the season to testify and to make statements.
Damn.
And
isn't that negative press for the NFL?
Huge negative press.
Like it's a distraction from what actually is happening on the field.
Exactly, and that's going to be a big thing. Like, and it's kind of taking away a little focus from the protest, but more, it's still technically revolving around that. And the NFL is just going to make themselves look worse because we got a lot of...
They fucked up, bro.
Dude,
That's what it is.
And
I
have a feeling it has something to do with these guys like Jerry Jones, like the really powerful owners of the Cowboys and stuff. These guys have like too much power where they're like rubbing elbows with fucking political guys.
They don't like something, then they implement it.
They implement it. Like Robert Kraft, he's the owner of the Patriots. He was best friends with Donald Trump.
Okay.
And he helped him, promote.
I don't want that on my resume.
Yeah, exactly. So this is another bad thing. And like, do you guys think that the NFL would be so low to collude to keep Kaepernick out?
I feel like, and overall, like, if that's how you felt and that's what you understand it for his people and stuff, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
They made it a thing. They fucking made it a thing, and then now this thing's blown out of proportion.
Yeah,
that's all they do. They want to they want to crucify you in that term,
Yeah, exactly.
Make him look bad, but at the end of the day, he has freedom of expression. He can say what he wants. If that's how you felt, and he's a person of power. You know, he has influence over other people, and he's representing his culture. You know,
Yeah, so why
so
not
I don't
use
see
your
no, I mean, I
power
don't
to
see
cause
nothing wrong with
change?
that. You know,
Now,
Exactly.
I'll play devil's advocate from a business perspective. He's an employee of the NFL, is he not?
True.
So,
For-
as an employee of something of a company that's asking you to act a certain way while you're on the clock, you know, quote unquote. I get where they might be coming from there, but he's a public figure, and if he did something, you can't unsee it.
Uh-huh.
And they created the uproar.
That is okay.
know?
So one, yes, you are correct that business-wise, he is an employee of said company.
Right.
But two, he is also in a union.
Uh-huh.
So as a union, the union's really going to push to protect his rights. And there was no like language up until this point about protesting stuff like that. So that's kind of in his favor.
So nothing was even in place to shut him up from the beginning.
No, exactly.
Oh, so they
and
totally
he
made it a
didn't do
thing.
it while the game was actually happening.
No,
right?
he did
was
it
like
just during the national anthem, and he only did it just to show, you know.
But that's the thing too, is that everyone's watching the game, so that's the opportunity. He saw it.
And you know what? There's a video going around of I believe he's a Arizona senator candidate. He's running for the senator race for McCain's old seat. He's a Democrat, and he was kind of brought up the question, you know, what do you feel about, you know, these protests? You know, and the guy was like, I don't like them. You know, I don't want that on my TV. This, and that. And, you know, the senator, he then explained that, you know what, you have every right to feel that way. All of you have every right to feel that way. But you also got to understand, you know, like the great, you know, like you got to look back at the movements like the great Dr. King, Rosa Parks. Like, at the time,
They
people
weren't popular.
Yeah, they weren't popular. People hated that. Like her moving to the front, not wanting to move to the back. Like people were upset about that. So
It's the little things.
Yeah,
that make the
it's-
biggest uproar.
in essence, it's the same. It's they're using the platform. They're trying to gain attention for something specific, but
Yeah.
you have the people that it's affecting negatively, reacting towards it and kind of moving.
And they've said time after time that it's not an anti-military stance.
no, and
They've-
some military
and
people
people
even
fall
fight
back
with
to
it.
that argument, which doesn't hold any weight if the intention is not there. Like genuinely, it's not there. It's about police brutality.
Exactly.
So I mean, people like to keep their blinders on just so they can
It's
stick
just a
with
bunch
their
of
party
lying.
lines. It's just a bunch
People
of
are ready
it's
to
just
people just want what they perceive as they wanted fucking straight
It's just
grass,
part
you
of
know,
the
they just wanted-
machine.
yeah.
But I think that's what makes this country great. You know,
Yes.
that we can have these conversations without, well,
Getting
least-
slaughtered.
At least,
Yeah,
well,
well,
in
yeah.
Kaepernick's case, there was
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
penalties.
well, it
That's what it
affected
is,
him,
man.
you know, financially. He was out of a job.
he's out of a job, and he's blackballed from the entire NFL. Like
Right.
32
At this
teams
point-
are saying, "Nah, brah."
At
peace."
this point, I don't know that what team would want to work with him.
exactly. But he's not the only player
He's
too.
Has
created
he-
this negative kind of attention towards
Well,
it.
there's a second player too by the name of Eric Reed, who was a teammate of Kaepernick's, a little younger, but he did the same thing, and he's a great player, great safety.
Blackballed as well.
Yeah, he's blackballed as well. He can't get back in the league because of the same thing.
Are they? I never heard anything from it, but do they express Kaepernick himself like wanting to get back onto the NFL, or even like?
Oh
'cause
yeah,
maybe
he's
he has
done
that.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
done tryouts. He did tryouts during free agency. You know, he went to go talk.
Definitely talented and capable to hold his own in the NFL.
Definitely, he could be a starting
They
quarterback.
just don't want the controversy.
but they just don't want the controversy.
It's bad marketing,
and
dude.
that's
bad
and
PR.
that's not really a good enough reason.
Right.
But
It's
you know,
all about money,
especially
man.
with the union behind his back. But you know,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
hopefully,
It's a business.
yeah, it's a business. But I mean, hopefully, you know what, it falls in his favor, and hopefully the judge rules the same thing for Eric Reed, and these guys can get back on the field.
Do you think if they do that, you think that'll cause a lot of tension?
You know what? As Americans, I think we have a very short memory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
give it some time,
Yeah,
and we're golden again. It's
I
back
think
to
there's a lot more fucked up things
people
going
already
on right
brought
now.
about
So
R. Kelly peeing on that girl.
yeah,
Exactly.
Like
Brought
he
it
needs
up
to
now.
do it again for me to like,
yeah,
you know,
to care.
to have an uproar about it.
You seen the Dave Chappelle skit?
Oh yeah, I
haven't
want
seen
to
it?
piss
Oh,
on you.
yeah.
Yes, I do. I
Yeah.
want to piss on you. Ooh, ooh, beep beep beep. Boo, boo,
Early
boo.
2000s.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, but you know, more on football. I kind of so you guys do you guys know what money or inside trading is?
I know a little bit about it.
A little bit about it. Nuncio,
No
do you
money
know this?
laundering, but not.
Money. Okay, so what insider trading is? So let's say you have your own stockbroker, you have your
Right.
own, you have someone that's in the market. Let's say they go up to you on the side and say, "Hey, look, Apple, their shares. I want you need to buy at least 100 shares tomorrow. Don't tell anyone else I told you this, but they're gonna have a huge product coming out. Blah blah blah. Giving them the scoop before it publicly becomes
Right.
news.
Okay.
Shit.
So
Like it's well timed.
like it's well timed,
Like
just
perfectly timed.
right before it becomes public. You purchase
Insiders.
something. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So that's essentially insider trading. That's illegal, according to the
Just created
Securities
after the
Exchange
Great
and
Depression.
yeah.
Right.
So there's actually an NFL player recently that was charged with insider trading. A linebacker by the name of Michael Kendricks. He was on the championship Philadelphia Eagles. Womp womp. But he was recently signed by the Browns, so it wasn't our fault. Thank you, Browns. It turns out that he was caught for insider trading while working with a friend of his who was a former Harvard graduate and a former financial advisor at Goldman Sachs, which is a huge financial firm. According to prosecutors, the defendant Sonoki, that's the former investment banking analyst, who tipped Kendricks to 4 corporate acquisitions from the bank from July 14th to November of 2014 to November of 2014. In exchange for the illegal tips, prosecutors say Kendricks gave Sonoki $10,000 in cash kickbacks along with additional perks such as tickets to Eagles games and luxury car services.
Damn.
Yeah, and so according to him, he says that.
So what did he do wrong? Just kidding.
Damn it.
Everything he just
So
said.
yeah, right. He says that he didn't know, he was tricked, that he thought this guy was a friend, that he was doing. But then he kind of said, then he kind of backed and it's like, well, I kind of did know, but you know what? I'm sorry. He said, I sincerely apologize to my coaches, the owners, my teammates.
Doesn't butter
the
my
Eagles.
biscuits.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude, fuck you.
right? It's like, come on, man. And this, and another thing too, with this happening,
Okay, I did it.
you guys, right?
I didn't do it.
I do. Okay, I did.
I might have.
Okay, I may have
Slowly
done
it
it.
started coming out like in stages.
All right.
I guess
I
you
might
can
have
call
done
that.
it.
It was me.
Okay.
It was me. Here's a knife. Here's everything. I'm sorry. I did it. I totally did it. But with this happening, I don't know if you guys know, with gambling becoming legal now in the NFL and legal nationwide, is this going to be cause for concern of potential point shaving or of guys just throwing games?
They can gamble on who's gonna win within kind of like Vegas when they do it.
So now it's not only in Vegas. You can do it nationwide now.
Oh, okay.
And so now, and then they're also allowing gambling to be in some stadiums, new stadiums that are being built. Like at the Oakland Stadium that's being built in Vegas, they're going to have actual machines in there that you can gamble. And you can bet on the games during the games. So it's like, I mean, it's going to... I mean, dude, this
more
guy
money
just...
for them, huh?
Yeah, this guy just did insider trading. What's going to stop him from just gambling real quick? Say, all right, you know what? I could throw a game real... I want to hit... I saw this chick the other day, and I need a banger, so I can just throw this, and I'll be fine. I mean, never know.
Totally.
You never know.
I've always thought that if you want to throw a game and you belong to that team that's going to throw the game, you pay the long snapper. You pay off the long snapper to just fucking shoot it in a crazy direction.
And just be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I had popcorn.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Imagine
the damn vendor.
Imagine
Get
it
the
being
vendor.
third down on a really important play, and the motherfucker launches it somewhere crazy, and all of a sudden you got a fourth down. Now they got to punt it or something. That would turn a game so fast.
I think you've just hit.
The guy that looks
Nail
like
on the
has
head,
the
man.
least
Looking for
power
that.
has the
Right?
most power ever.
I'm gonna start questioning centers and long snappers that overshoot the fucking ball now.
It's kind of like boxing, though. Is that what you're saying?
Well, boxing's fucking corrupt.
Boxing's
as all
That's
corrupt.
hell.
kind
Oh,
of. You think
fuck,
it'll
man.
get to that point?
I guess.
Maybe.
It could.
Shit. I
could.
mean,
I mean,
it
unless
could.
it's-
Well, I think with the
Call it
introduction
out
with
more.
that, it might open up something like that.
Who knows, man? Well, that was me for sports.
All right, man. Thank you. Well, guys, I